I was looking at games that I have started playing and never finished, and HeXen is one of them. I'm not going to be loading my original game. I'm just going to be starting new. You know, because I wasn't even sure if I was going to stream today. I was just going to play something casually. This is something I would play just like off stream, off camera, just because I love these old school FPS games. I really need to play Heretic, which came out before this. It's kind of the precursor to HeXen. I still haven't beat Heretic either, but I love these old school id Software, you know, first person shooter games. Shadowcaster is like probably one of my favorite old school ones, and it's more old school than HeXen. Like it's a very slow paced game. I just got to figure out how to get it so I can stream it or record it, because I would love to do that. You never see anybody play this. Some people might be playing HeXen now. I have no idea. But I'm gonna be using the GZ Doom engine because if you run it on like if you buy it on Steam and you play it off of there, it's not great. It doesn't look great. It runs way better on GZ Doom. And I think, might be mistaken, but I think I have, no, it's over there. BRB. So while I'm drinking coffee and getting woke, so I haven't always had PC for gaming. Like when I was younger, my dad used to build PCs. So there were sometimes like we had a PC available in the house to play games, but that was not always the case. So most of my like early years of playing games and stuff like that, minus like the original Doom, I played like on a 386 or 486 PC. Also played Shadowcaster was one of the first FPS games. I think Shadowcaster was probably actually the very first FPS game I ever played, to be honest. Anyways, what I was saying was we didn't always have a PC at the house to game on. My dad did like built PCs, and he did them like he used to repair PCs for like friends and colleagues and stuff like that. The church we used to go to forever ago. So a lot of games like Quake. I have Quake on the Nintendo 64. Was the first time I ever played Quake. It was on Nintendo 64 because I had a console. I didn't have a gaming PC. And the same thing with HeXen. First time I played HeXen was on a Nintendo 64, not on a PC. So Quake is pretty playable on PC on Nintendo 64. Like it's an old school game, of course. You have to get used to the Nintendo 64 controller, which nowadays people talk a lot of shit about, but back then the Nintendo 64 controller was what was brand new, so it wasn't that bad actually. Especially if you could change the keybinds and things like that, and you see up to walk, and your the control stick as your mouse look basically. It worked out pretty good that way. That's how I always did it with like GoldenEye 64 or 007 GoldenEye, whatever. I think it was called Solitaire mode, was the 1.2 control scheme, where your C buttons were C up and C down were walk forward and left, or walk forward and back. C left and C right were strafe, and then your control stick was just a mouse look. So if you could, if you're playing a first person shooter and you could change the controls like that, the Nintendo 64 controller was pretty good. So Quake was definitely playable. I played the shit out of Quake in Nintendo 64. I never actually beat it because I sucked at it. But HeXen, on the other hand, HeXen on Nintendo 64 is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. The controls are shit. The graphics are, you know, it's old school graphics. So it's not really a big deal. Like if you don't like retro graphics like that, then it's going to be a big deal. But for me, I like old school shit, so this doesn't bother me at all. But it was the controls. Trying to play this on Nintendo 64 is so unbelievably difficult. I don't know if anybody's ever been able to beat it, or if they have, how the hell they did, because I don't think you can really change the controls around much or at all. And if you can, you can't change them in a way where it makes the game easier, because I got frustrated so many times trying to play it on there. And I can never really get past like the first level. Basically, it just gets so fucking frustrated. Music off. Game on. So we're going to start a whole new game in Heretic. Wait, in HeXen. Excuse me. In HeXen. Excuse me. We're going to start a whole new game in HeXen. I would like to do a full playthrough of this. I don't know if I am. For now, I'm just going to play and enjoy it because there's a lot of like puzzles and stuff. It's kind of time consuming. You got to run around and do stuff. So I don't know how much patience I'm going to have with it or my amount of fortitude I'm going to have to stick with it. But for now, I just want to play it. And I think I've played as a cleric before. I think I'm just going to do that again because it's kind of balanced. I like that. If and when I beat the game, then I would like to do a playthrough as like the mage or something like that. But for right now, with the amount of armor he has, that makes me uncomfortable. So cleric it is. Difficulty level, I would like to do priest because I feel like that's normal, but I don't want to get my ass beat. Let's do acolyte. I don't want to like really drop it too low, but at the same time, I don't want to have to like replay portions over 70 times. Also, let's see if I can get this audio right. I need the audio for this game. I don't know if you can see this or not. I need the audio for this game to be sent to my wait, where'd it go? Yeah, there it is. I need this audio to be sent to my game audio card, not system. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. Let's see. Yeah. That's fine. That means it's going to be tied to my system audio, which sucks, but... I don't know how loud this is going to be, but we'll see. Oh, my mouse is so... God, it's crazy. We don't have any other weapons yet at the moment. The GZ Doom engine has done does amazing things with this game. Like if HeXen would run like this on a Nintendo 64, dude, I'd play it on Nintendo 64. I still like... A good part of me still wants to play this on Nintendo 64 because that's like where that's the first time I ever played it, and I feel like I owe it to this game to finish it on there, but I don't know if I'd ever be able to. Take some of these fletchets. Oh yeah, the sound is really loud. All right, why don't we drop it a little bit more? I know I'm all over the place, but you got to make adjustments, man. Okay. Also need to put in my stream backseat gaming allowed. Because there's a lot of this game I don't know. Backseating allowed. There we go. Perfect. Okay, why don't we have a whole new start? Because I've been all over the place. I feel like the sound is at a good place right now. So let's start over. All right. Much better. There is like a kind of filtering, like anti-aliasing kind of texture filtering thing I think you could turn on, but I have it off because, as I mentioned before, I like my graphics like I like my breakfast. Gritty. I actually had grits for breakfast. Yep. Some buttered grits with eggs and crumbled up spicy Jimmy Dean sausage. Crumbled up in there. Anyways. Fletchets. The mouse look is... It is something serious. Ease it. Excuse me. Up. Let's go this way. Anything in here? No, okay. I remember this is where we gotta go. I probably got like maybe 4 or 5 hours into this game. I couldn't even tell you what level, but I'm definitely way past here. Eventually we'll get a better weapon. Two-headed bastard. The how like the game looks, like the artwork and just a general build of HeXen like this reminds me a lot of Shadowcaster. And it's like the artwork and like the atmosphere in Shadowcaster that I love so much, because I think everybody tends to have like one game specifically that they remember very well and just had like a very like profound effect on them, and that like invokes like the strongest of nostalgic feels. And Shadowcaster is that for me, because that was my first game I ever played. It was first-person shooter where you're walking around and it's super immersive and you're just like in the game or whatever. And yeah, this reminds me of that.